Now, you get bonus points if you can tell me what this is for.
That's a fence post.
Yeah. And why would they have it mounted to the front of their stuff in World War II?
Meet Terry, an Army veteran. He runs the Jeep Rescue League in southeastern Colorado. It's his private collection of military Jeeps and civilian Jeeps he has saved from the crushers or from being left alone in the fields. Terry shares some tips how to tell the difference between a military Jeep versus a civilian Jeep.
Now, this is an actual military M38A1.
Oh, wow.
And the quick tell on that is this would have had blackout lights here, these lifting hooks, these kind of things. And beyond that is that battery box up on the cowling.
Oh.
Because these started in 51.
Okay.
The CJ5 didn't come along until 56, really. I think they had some in 55, but they really weren't on too much till then. So this box up here, if it has the little wing nuts or strap on it where it's removable, those were military.
Okay, and that's for the battery.
Yep, it's a 24-volt system, so that's why it has that long battery box. The military wanted everything to be able to run off the same power supply. Cut out on the side over there,
right.
That round thing. Well, they had a slave cable that was set up. They could pull up right alongside and jump a truck with it, or vice versa.
Okay.
Or they had generator sets that had that stuff, and they could use that. And they still use a system like that today. Now, if you see this one, see it's got that long battery box plate,
right?
But it doesn't have these fasteners.
Right.
It's a civilian one. They used the military die sets up till about 70, but they would just put a welded cap over it. Originally, I was looking for an M38, which is between the World War II and these. They started in 46 and made them up into about 55. But it's really a flat fender transition. Well, I have a picture of Dad in front of an M38 in Germany in 59, so I had to have one of them. But I kept telling people I was looking for an M38. I got one. Well, they kept showing up with 38A1s. It's like, no, that's not it. But I would buy them anyway.
Right. So this is an M38.
A1.
A1.
Yep.
Is this an M38 too, as well?
Well, it is and it isn't. It's more of a CJ6.
Oh, because it's got the extended.
This was an ambulance version.
Okay.
So it's an M170.
Okay.
Now, it's rough. I just kind of give it a quick spray over.
Right.
It took me, I had one of these other CJ6 frames and I wanted to make an ambulance out of it. And so I was looking for this body set. And this one, see how they've got the bigger cutout for the military gas tanks?
Right.
That's the other big tell. If it's got a gas tank cap this big, it's military. If they're this big, they're CJs.
Okay.
Series 2s or whatever. Because this is technically my first Jeep I ever owned.
Oh.
From about 30 some years ago. And it was rescued too. It was upside down in a pond in Iowa when we got it.
I remember that story.
But it didn't have a motor in it, and it was just kind of that rolling chassis. We took it apart and I brought it in the shop I had, the antique shop there in Iowa, and painted it green, put a bunch of Army stuff on. I was selling Army surplus, so it was like a prop. But for an Iowa vehicle, it really has a good body. The frame is good. It's got a lot of potential. It's on the list, but just because I need to go ahead and do it.
And you can tell because the fenders are flat across.
Yep. Yeah, when they say flatty, the hood will be flat.
Right.
You look at the CJ5s and they got a rib.
Right.
If they got a seam down the middle,
it's a flatty.
Yep, it's a flatty. But any of them you see that have the willies on it like this and like this, they're civilian. The military ones, the Fords and the Willies in World War II, well, the military didn't want them putting that on there because it was parts as parts, and both of those companies' parts were supposed to be able to interchange.
Right.
And they largely did. This monster is rough around the edges. It came out of South Carolina, but it's an actual 1945 Willys or MB World War II Jeep.
And you can tell here there's no willies.
There's no raised willies here.
Yep.
And at the same time, it's not there. And then, of course, your quick tell on your World War II stuff is a grill. See how
it doesn't go into the slot.
It's the smaller headlight.
Oh, yeah.
If it's got a bump out on the grill,
then it's civilian.
It's civilian. Or
Interesting.
the later one, post-World War II
right.
for sure. Well, this one is a military, kind of. It's a Franken Jeep. So if you look at the body, that's an M38 original military body. The big tell is these had one battery box. That was the transitional one before the what's known now as a CJ5 or an M38A1. But, you know, if you look here, guess what? There's no Willie stamp there. They have a vent here, so you couldn't tell it. It's got a few things on it, but if you see these cutouts and this stuff, I knew right away it's an original military tub. The tub on this is exceptionally good condition. You know, and it's common out here. Well, all that stuff was surplus. They were taking up all these beat up CJ2s and putting these retro old surplus military tubs on them. See, one of the only Willies, see it's on the tailgate still. It's got that on there that actually had a tailgate. Most all the Jeeps, other than the ambulance, they were solid.
Right.
Because they wanted them to be able to float. That's why they had the little plugs down here on the floor.
Right.
For river crossings, what have you. That's what they were after.
Uh-oh, the secret lair.
No, it's just the motor pool.
Oh, the motor pool. Oh, the motor pool. Is radar in here?
Could be. So what's that?
That's the battery.
Which one?
This is...
You didn't know there's going to be a quiz, did you?
No, I didn't. So you have the longer ones, which are military.
They're both military.
Right, because this has hinges, which means it's military.
Right.
I don't remember.
Well, this was
so many numbers and letters.
Well, this is an M38 tub. But the really cool part is here on the back.
Okay.
See, it's got the flatty hood.
Right, with the seam.
And here's the tell here. The military ones had this cutout on the side for forwarding. They had that underwater drive system. Yeah, that's what that's for. But if you can squeeze through there, have a look at this tire carrier, gas can carrier back here. But this is that one I just got. Now it's got some Band-Aid stuff I got to fix. All of your World War II Jeeps did not have a side gas tank. You had to lift the seat and fill direct from the top.
Right.
So they always retrofitted a gas tank into them, but that's just a piece of plate steel. If that's all the more Band-Aid ID, it's not too bad.
Right.
But it's got the cutouts.
Right, for
your action shovel.
Right.
And here's your other trivia thing. I'll quiz you later. On the World War II stuff, they were on this side. On the post-World War II, like that blue one, they were on that side. After World War II, they figured out, hey, that's just not handy for the driver getting in and out, snag his pants and whatever gear on that.
Okay.
They didn't often have a passenger, so they just put them on the other side. Well, if they had a machine gun on it, the windshield...
Why do you think they put a fence post on the military Jeeps during World War II? Post in the comments below, and stay tuned. I'll have the answer in my next video. For more Jeep Life with Jeep Mama, head over to my blog at jeepmama.com.